Hmm.
All right, let's make sure we are good. All right, sweet. All right, everybody, we are here. Just getting set up over here, little house order rules. But welcome again to Mornings with Movers. We've had the pleasure of doing about 18 episodes to this point. Like, wow. Like, this is longer than most TV shows, if you hear. Except for Law and Order. Can't beat them. But again, I'm DwYght with Mack's Moving Training. We have Clifford Starks, the motivational coach.
What's up, everyone?
Let's get to it. We are at August 10th. Wow. And some of us still have not seen a summer. I'm definitely included, in that mess. But it's one of those things where it's like, this is our 120-day sprint, and we're almost at the end of it. We're what, 20 days away from the end of it, and we're just like, yo, where's the chaos that we were looking for? It's been chaos, but not the chaos we want. So it's like, what do we do? I know, well, I ain't gonna mention names. But I know there was a training yesterday or so like that went live, and it talked about what we could do during these trying times or so like that. But I do feel like we could definitely be just sticking to the principles. Cliff was hitting on something right before the meeting where we were talking about one thing that stood out to him was marketing. And I guess we could start there because I think that's Cliff's forte. So, we're going to hit on it. And
Yeah.
So what do you think we could be doing more, Cliff?
This game is more of an internal game than an external game. And asking yourself what makes you unique, what makes you special. Uh, what you do as moving companies, you go into people's houses and move their most valuable stuff. And if they don't know, if you treat yourself as you're just a moving company, they will treat you as just a moving company. But if you tell them what it is you do, why it is you do it, and what makes you special at what you do, and why your packages are even the way that they are, it's gonna feed into their mind, and they're gonna say, "Oh, okay, all right, yeah, you take care of my valuable stuff, my precious stuff, and you make sure it gets from A to B and A to B correctly." There's a lot of shady moving companies out there. Use that to your advantage. Let people know, like, well, I want to go with the cheapest one. Well, you're going to get cheap results, and this is what cheap results look like. And let them see it. Get it in their mind where they're like, oh, well, I don't want that. Like, I don't want this. You're professionals. You are the professional.
So
Treat yourself as the professional.
let me ask, Cliff. So what do you feel like, and we're going to deep dive today. So,
Yeah.
what do you feel like, okay, we're moving companies. We pick up shit,
Hmm.
we put it down.
Yeah.
Is that differentiator? Because we talk about movers being, oh well, if you want the cheap guys, you're going to get this, or if you want the good guys, you're going to get this. At the end of the day, we all kind of mess up in some way, shape, or form, and we all just have different prices. So,
Yeah.
what is that differentiator makes us that could make us unique?
Yeah. So let's play a little bit. Who do you absolutely love? Like going into their house. Who do you love?
Going into the house, I don't want to go nobody no house, but what do you mean?
No,
Like,
you're going into like a family member's house. Like, yeah, grandmother, your mom, your
okay, let's say
dad.
my mom.
What house do you love going into? Yeah, your mom?
Yeah, let's say my mom.
Okay. What do you love about going in there?
Just the I guess the ambiance, the warm feeling, just feeling like it's a home away from a home.
Home away from home? Okay. Um, do you feel at peace?
Yes.
Okay. No stress?
No stress.
You feel like you can talk to her about anything?
I would like to think so.
Okay. Any particular foods that any dishes
You
that
know
you
you gotta
like
have
about
mom.
what she makes?
You know you gotta have mom soul food
She
now.
makes those mom dishes? Okay. See, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. As you're talking about it, I want to go there. I want to know about your mom's soul food. I want to know what your mom brings to the table because she sounds like an amazing person. And that's what you do as your moving company is you let people know like you get people to lean in and go, "Oh my goodness, I want you guys. You guys do what? How? And why you do what you do." Like when we like name something about your mom that you really really love about her. What's a story? Like share a story with me if you could.
Oh, geez. Got me on the spot this morning, huh?
I did kind of put you on the spot, and you can do the same to me because I'll do it with my grandmother after you do it with your mom.
Oh man. No, for me, I think it's just a good vibes. You know, anytime we're in the same room atmosphere, you know, we can laugh, joke about whatever's going on.
Yeah,
Just great conversation, you know. Yeah, like I think that's basically it. You know, it's just that where you just don't feel like the stress is like almost somebody getting marijuana or whatever it is.
yeah, yeah,
And it's just like they forget the stress that's around them. They forget that, hey, you know, that stress that they thought was important is just like, you know,
yeah.
type of vibe.
I love that.
And I think that's that vibe I get where it's just like, none of this, all that stuff is really simple. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. So mine's my grandmother. She was an amazing individual, and every time I would come to the house, her eyes would she would look at me with just this love, like this intense love of, I want to take care of my grandson. I want to make sure everything's okay for my grandson. And she knew I like to eat. And I love, like, not even like, I love to eat. I love to eat. And she would make this golden catfish that was
Mm,
absolutely perfect. Like, perfect, crisp, not too crispy, not too soft, just right
mhm,
down the middle, right? Just, and
gotcha.
I remember, and she had a special hot sauce that I would put on it too. And when I would eat that, like I literally think about that to this day. I've never had catfish like that again because my grandmother has gone to the other side, and um, I know when I go to the other side, I'm going to be asking her for that fish because that's the fish that it's a memory that I value, and um, I value her and value the relationship that we had because every time I would go there, I felt this overarching feeling of warmth, of care, of someone who's going to be there for me. And as a moving company, like, look, these people are going through stressful times. And yeah, they can be jackasses sometimes for sure. Like they're going through stress. Your movers are going through stress. And as a leader, when you can give people that vibe, that feel, that wow, things are going to be good, and we'd be surprised how much power we have with desire alone because I believe the number was like you're 86% less likely to sue someone through malpractice if they had good bedside manner. That's it. That's all it takes is good bedside manner. And now surgery is another thing altogether. If someone's touching my body and doing something to my body and they mess it up, I'm going to be furious. I'm going to be pissed. But I can see how, wait a minute, if someone actually takes the time to care, I'd be less likely to go to those measures, I'd say. And when we realize how much power we really have as people to do right by the customer, to do right by the people that we're working with, I'm not saying it's always easy because it's not. You're gonna get some people who are acting a fool for sure. But again, I go back to Jim Rome where he says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. And if I can get good in every situation that I'm in, um, I'll tell you as a fighter personally, the moments that tested me the most were the times where it sucked, the times where it wasn't fair. Like
Mhm.
sometimes life just isn't fair. People are treating you in a certain way and it's not right. It's not. But if you can flip the script and treat them like a decent human being, they'll actually they'll respect you that much more because they're going through whatever they're going through. That's their stuff. And
Mhm.
if you can be that saving grace, that grandmother or that mom, that person who makes them feel like, man, you make me feel special even when I'm an asshole. Maybe that's the tagline. These guys make me feel special even when I'm an asshole.
So, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like we can do that because that's what our golden ticket that we offer,
Mhm.
customer service. We're going to deliver over the top. But we as in this industry, we have so many variable factors. Other
There's a
people,
ton.
for once,
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like, hey, these guys, they're gonna go out and do their job, but again, human first. These customers talking all crazy, oh, you thieves, oh, you doing this wrong, oh, standing over their back first thing they get in the house. And it's
yeah,
just like, okay, I feel like, hey, we could talk to the guys, we could say, well, hey guys, kind of like set the tone right so that they could just fall back earlier on. We know that mythology of some steps to have a
yeah,
successful move. Um, but they're human. You
yeah.
know, things won't always go right. What do you feel that we could probably be doing to alleviate some of that?
Yeah, I think ultimately knowing what your company stands for and why they stand for it, um, and knowing what you will stand for and what you won't, what you'll tolerate and what you won't tolerate. So even when I talk about compassion, it's not to say you're just gonna deal with anything, anyone acting like a damn fool. What are your value systems and what's going to align the client and the mover together? What's going to align you together? And how can you get that? I remember I have a friend out in Arizona, and he's a great moving service and a less expensive moving service. And the guy ended up going with the veteran mover because the guy was a vet and he was charging him twice as much an hour. But he went with the vet because he's a vet. Like, this is a tribal game. And when we realize, wait a minute, this is all about psychology and tribalism. This isn't even just about the money. Now, the money plays a role, but if you go after cheap people, expect cheap things. If you People will pay for value. People pay for value. And we'll use the excuse of no, people are being cheap. No, they're not. We're not expressing the value to them. If we don't express the value, if we just say like, "Oh yeah, we'll move your stuff really really well, everybody says that. What makes you different? The same thing when I was fighting and I was working towards getting to the UFC. Everybody's a tough fighter. We're all good and tough. What makes you different than everybody else? And
Right.
that's not the easy question to ask. Like it's not easy to sit back and say, okay, well, what makes me different? And then also asking those customers. The thing is, usually what makes us different, the people who know are the customers who value us the most. There's certain customers who are they're like, man, DwYght's the man. These guys, DwYght Mack Moving Company, they really take care of me. Ask them, hey, what was it that you liked about us? What made us different? And you're gonna have to probe a little bit because they're just gonna give any answer like, well, you guys just make me feel good. Well, what? Yeah, it made you feel good. How did we make you feel good? What was it that we did exactly that made it better and different than anybody else? The cool thing is customer service is getting worse and worse right now. Most
Mm.
places I don't even like going to. That's an opportunity for us. Because now if we say, okay, how can I make myself different than everybody else? Well, it's easier now more than ever because people don't have time for each other.
Gotcha, gotcha. No, that makes sense. Definitely makes a lot of sense. And one of the things I read about in this marketing book or so like that was, hey, there's moving companies down the street from you, all around you. What?
Hmm.
And you all do moving. You all do packing. You all load up everybody's stuff. And I'm like, what is it out of the three things that make out of the three staples? What is it that makes you different than
Yeah.
the other moving company? And like you said, you hit it right on the money. It's like probe your customers, figure out, hey,
Hmm.
what is it that you do right? For me, I'm a big believer in not, don't rub the mirror, don't keep rubbing the mirror because eventually it's gonna get smudged.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that being said, it's like, okay, look at your reviews. Maybe you are all 5-star review. Maybe you've been one of those guys that just pay for or not pay for your reviews, but make sure that hey, your reviews stay top notch. So you don't
Hmm.
really have necessarily the feedback that's right in front of you ongoingly to say, okay, what can I improve on?
Yeah.
But for those companies that take that hit, okay, well, hey, you know what? I got a 1-star review from this customer. I'm so pissed. God damn. Okay, dope. I understand. You're a little mad. Count to 10, get over it. Let's figure out in that if they wrote a review, in that review, what could you do better?
Yeah.
And and look at your reviews. If you got 3-star, 4-star reviews that weren't a 5-star review, what could you do better? And basically write this down. It's not everything that you need to fix. It's just certain things. Oh shit. We getting a lot of reviews that our guys are showing up late. Fixable,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? Uh,
Absolutely.
where the reason that why are they showing up late? Are they showing up to your warehouse late?
Hmm.
Again, now you're kind of probing yourself. You're trying to figure out, okay, maybe they're not getting to the door, they're not getting to our door first, and then they're not getting to the customer door. Or they're getting to our door early, but they're still getting to the customer house late. Okay, well, there's that issue. Fix it.
Yeah.
Um, well, we're not really getting item damages, but our guys aren't really wrapping everything the way we want it to be wrapped.
Hmm.
But is that a complaint? Is that as a customer saying, well, hey, they're not really wrapping my stuff? Or are you getting nonstop 5-star reviews because of other things? So it's like, okay, well, there's some areas we want to continue to work on, but if it's not causing an issue right now, that's where you just don't want to keep rubbing that mirror where you're like, oh, well, I got to make sure that this is perfect. I got to make sure this is perfect. I got to implement all this stuff. That's not the problem. The problem is whatever those 3-star, 1-star reviews are, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you just need to fix that until another problem arises and you fix that problem. Your system will never be perfect because you were dealing with humans. Our movers will never
Yeah.
be perfect. So don't overstress this business. Focus on what we can focus on and keep going from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And understanding what perfect means to your customer, right? Like you're dead on that. What does a perfect move look like to your customer? And the best thing is when you know what that looks like, you can explain it to that person and that person only. There's a saying, um, in order to get your perfect 10, you have to say no to your 9.9. And that can seem very, very intense. I know from a coaching standpoint, it is very intense. Um, but the only way you can say no to your 9.9 is if you know who your 10 is, if you know who that person is. And that takes some deep diving and work and some understanding. But I will share a marketing situation with you guys. Um, there was an ice cream shop, and this was back in the day. T Harv Eker was the guy who worked with him, and if none of you know him, he's just a high level marketer. He's made several millionaires, thousands of millionaires throughout his journey. He's good at what he does. And some of his stuff seems kind of off the wall. Doesn't make any, like, when he said what he said to this guy, I was just, my heart was pounding for the guy because I could understand why that would be very stressful. So he goes in, works with this guy, and the guy had been giving out 50-cent coupons. And 50-cent coupons like 20 miles, 50 miles away. And T Harv says, why would you give a 50-cent coupon? No one's going to drive 50 miles to get a 50-cent off ice cream cone. Like, it's just not gonna happen. That's stupid. And so the guy had $5,000 left to his name in his business. 5,000. TR says, all right, what I want you to do, um, $2,000 to promote your ice cream and 3,000 to buy the ice cream, and you're gonna give it away for free. And I'm getting tense even saying this. Like, the guy goes, "You want me to do what? So you you want me to take my last 5,000 and promote with 2,000, and then buy $3,000 worth of ice cream and give it all away for free?" And DR was like, "Yes." The guy ends up doing it, right? He ends up doing it. He's like, "All right, well, it looks like I'm getting ready to go out of business." A year later, he sells that business for $150,000. That was his grand opening. He ended up crushing it because everyone came out of the woodworks. And the thing was, people didn't know that he existed. They didn't know he existed until, well, free ice cream will get anyone to notice something exists, actually. So, like, if someone gave me some free ice cream, I'm going to check it out. If they give me a 50-cent cone, I forgot about it already after I read the thing. It's like, I don't even know who that is. And so sometimes as we market to our people, you actually mentioned doing like a yard party or a house party where you're bringing people in the area together,
Hmm.
neighborhood get together, and yeah, it's those kind of things that it takes energy and it takes work, and sometimes we don't want to do these things, but we ask ourselves the question, like, why are we doing this? Everything comes down to a relationship. Like, you would never talk to your mom the way some of these customers probably talk to you. I would never talk to my grandmother the way some of these people are talking to me. And I asked the question, well, why is that? Like, why is that? Why do they feel that they could even talk to someone that way? It's almost like they take the humanity away from you.
Hmm.
And I'll ask a question like, hey, I'll ask them, hey, why are you talking to me this way? And it'll get them like thinking for a second, like, why am I? Man, I'm being a real asshole. He's right. And it's that simple. Instead of, well, like, and then it just turns into it's unnecessary. We're
Well,
relationship builders.
I think one of the things we could do is like I said, kill them with kindness. I think for us
Absolutely.
is not to argue back with them. They're not, and we got to keep remembering that they're not mad at us. They're mad at the situation. Granted, we are human and we have reactions, but it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I understand your frustration. You know, let's see what we can do within reason,
Yeah.
and kind of go from there. I had a situation where a customer had full service, had the whole service done, and then was like, "Hey, I didn't like the service. I want a full refund."
Yeah. Yeah.
The hell? Did they move your stuff? They didn't put it in the truck, do something?
Yeah.
Like, I get that it must have been bad, but and from what I've heard, only one thing maybe got messed up.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
had 8,000 things. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And,
so
and that's the thing. You're right. Like, explaining that and expressing it, because I've explained things to people and they start seeing the picture. It's hard for a person to see the picture when they're mad. We've all done it. When a
hmm
person's mad, they're seeing what they're seeing. And it's like, all right, how do I let them see the 50,000 foot view so that they can they can see the bigger picture instead of seeing what they're seeing. They're seeing what they're seeing. And
Hmm.
sometimes, does being a leader suck sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not denying that at all. Just be like, what, they didn't see this or this or this? No, they don't. They're not seeing it at all. And how do you like, okay, let me turn their vision over here so they can see these pieces over here.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
we
think
move.
that's why I was thinking like having like if you can do it as a leader, great. But having a like a success person, success manager, success whoever, whatever
Hmm.
you want to call them in your business, and that person is so neutral,
Yeah.
about the situation. I feel like
Hmm.
that role would be crucial. Granted, it should be us as the owners, but mentally, we can be very biased as well. Because we're like, I know moving.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to go and to performing this move. They don't. They're the customer, whatever the case is. And when they say my guy did this, I don't believe it. I refuse to think that my guys dropped their shit. No, they wouldn't drop it. They got
Yeah.
grip of steel. Mm-mm. And so
Yeah.
so now we're biased. And
Yeah.
that's not always good because they want us to be one unreasonable anyways. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay,
Hmm.
you know what? If we have a success person, okay, yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, I'm going to get a statement from my guys and figure out, what their side was, what your side was, and try to see, where we can probe and see where the story lines up, if there was any separates. And we'll get right back to you. Just give us a little time or something like that. And just having that person, I could just like that. And hopefully the customer is more reasonable to say, I appreciate that, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think just having that conversation, understanding and letting them know that, hey, we do understand your frustration. We let us do a little research because basically we hear your side. Let us hear their side.
Hmm.
And we do have a level of expectation, but at the end of the day, it is your perspective because hey, you're the customer. But we also know that customers aren't always right either. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
And I think that's becoming more and more clear over these last several years, where it's just like, when we first started this, customers are always right. You guys did what?
Like, and it's, I I look at it as, okay, there's emotion, there's belief systems, and then there's logic, right? And our emotions can get the best of every one of us. And then when we have an emotion, we have a belief behind the emotion that we're having. And then we justify with logic, right? We are emotional beings. And when you can step back and say like, okay, what is it that this person wants and why do they want it? Because this is a game of negotiation. Everything's negotiation. We're always negotiating. And when we become effective negotiators, this is why, like, even when we do sit back and ask ourselves the question, even when we do talk to the customers who really value us and love us, when we can say what we say with complete confidence and conviction, it's a wrap. If you're the People be like, I don't want to deal with the jerk. Well, that depends. Because if they're a brain surgeon who's one of the best brain surgeons on the planet and they can express it as so, you're going to deal with the jerk. And they're the only
Mhm.
one who can get like the tumor out of your head. Huh, isn't that surprising? Now you're dealing with the jerk. Perfectly fine.
You've been
Oh, look
watching
at
too.
that. Look at you
You've been
pulling your
watching.
credit card out. Look at you swipe.
You've been watching too much House, huh?
I've been what?
Watching too much House.
I definitely would be. I definitely would be House. I would play his game, but I respect it. I get it. And if I was in trouble, I might go to a house. Like, you mother, take my money, you son of a.
Yeah. That was a good scene. That was a
But
good
that's the thing is,
scene.
yeah, yeah. When we can step back and we go, all right, what value do we bring in such a way that we could be jerks?
Hmm.
Like, even if you want to think about it that way, like, what can we say in a way that we know we can do this and we can actually be assholes about it. Now, don't actually be that thing. I'm just saying, like, use it for the brain. Allow the brain to like go like, how do we figure this out? Because our brains are actually solution based brains if we allow
Mhm.
them to be. And if we give it something to find a solution to, it'll find the solution. But if it closes off, oh yeah, no solution. These people suck.
Yeah,
They're angry all the time. They always have an issue. They're always complaining. Screw them all. Your brain's just going to do that. It's not going to look for a solution.
yeah, and that's what happens in these trying times. When we're so stressed, like oh man, we just had a amazing end to July, and then the first week of August, we ain't got no work. We're not turning over no trucks. We got
Yeah,
4 or 5 trucks in the yard not moving. Oh man, and
yeah,
then you start to think all of the negative energy versus what other opportunities are out there. And
yeah,
that's what we want to stay clear on.
absolutely.
I'm guilty of it at times. I'm like, damn, I explored all my marketing opportunities that I can explore. What more could I do, to
Yeah,
oversaturate? And I think that we just
yeah,
we need to stay on the path that we're on if it's working. And then basically, continue to network. Even if you're having a casual conversation with someone that may be a good fit for where you want to go. Like if you join the chambers of
yeah.
commerce or you joined, some networking group. When I was in Florida, they had networking after hours, where we would have like a drink, have some
Hmm.
food, and we just network with other business owners. And you just walk the room and you network with other business owners. And I thought that was amazing because hey, you may not be a customer today, but you may damn well remember me to
Hmm.
tell other people about my
Yeah.
services. And when I went to a chambers meeting, one of the ladies was like, "Hey, I got a friend that's looking to move." It's ironic that we met,
Hmm.
and they told their friend about us, and their friend called us, and oh snap, hey, we got a lead. And it was just like, hey, if I
Yeah.
wasn't there at the right time or the right place, that opportunity wouldn't have happened. And we didn't know that opportunity was going to happen. We're just good individuals having great conversation, and one thing led to another.
Hmm.
So these are all opportunities that can
Yeah.
skyrocket
Yeah.
your business from a small little one job contract to a humongous contract that we would have never explored. So getting out to these cocktail
Hmm.
late night events, joining the chambers of commerce, joining B&I groups if you can afford it, very expensive, and just constant networking. Realtor connections is
Yeah.
always going to be
Yeah.
great.
Absolutely.
Realtor connections are always going to be great, but it is challenging, because realtors are the
Yeah.
most overused people. You're talking about painters
Yep.
are reaching out to realtors. You're talking about mortgage people are reaching out to realtors. Movers are reaching out to realtors. General contractors are reaching out to realtors. So they're the most utilized beings. So even though we want to say,
Yeah.
oh, realtors are the people we want to go after, eh, unless you have a friend that's a realtor or someone that you have a
Yeah.
close connection with, leave your options open.
Yeah.
But
And
go ahead.
the other thing too, like I look at how can I get how can I get these people to come to me? Sometimes that's the question I ask, and I don't always have the answer. I don't always have the answer, but I'll play with it. Like, how could I get a realtor to call me and say, I want to work with this person? Can I create a referral program that's so out of this world that they want a piece of that? And that's where like business becomes simple and hard all at the same time. Because we might not have, well, most people don't have the answer because people are busy calling them, right? Just like, all right, we're going to bombard them. We're going to bombard them. And you'll see it with the lead generation too, with like Angie's List and
Mm-hmm.
all of these other places where they're getting like 10 different movers saying that they'll work for them. So it's like a dog pile. And then it's even harder to get the customer because they have so many options. It's almost too many. where they're like either frustrated and they go with the first one or the second, like they just want to get this done. They want to
Mhm.
move done. And that's where it's like, okay, how do I think outside of the box? Because this isn't working. Holy crap. It's not working. And how do I differentiate myself? Because that's all it's about is when you're seen as a differentiator, like if you said, hey, any realtor who calls me will get $1,000. Now all of a sudden, I guarantee you're getting calls. Now, of course, wouldn't be able to do that, but it's just to say to the mind, like, well, how could we make that happen? How could we make that a reality?
Well,
Um,
there's been some logic or solutions to try to help with that, where it was said that, hey, if you're dealing with a company like Move Soon, get them a little promotion
mhm,
today. If you're dealing with a company like that,
mhm,
where you can keep the realtor in connection with how the move is going, or if the customer gave you a great review,
mhm,
and then you can reach out to the realtor and say, well, hey, we moved your client, Miss Jane, the other day, and she was very astounded by the services. And we just wanted to share her experience with you, showing, the written text of the review and how great she was. And we want to thank you for, essentially thank you indirectly for the opportunity. So with
mhm.
that being said, if you do have any other clients that you have that's potentially moving, we would love to share that same experience that we had with Miss Jane with your other clients. And by them
Yep.
getting that type of note from you, or whatever the case is, not necessarily bombarding them, but showing that you could do good work, that might have a potential positive effect where it can lead to more and more opportunities.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the crazy thing, even if you like, I just thought about this. If you were to give a real estate agent a free move, maybe even one of their clients. Now, again, this is about being strategic. I believe I know the average of real estate is one house a year, right? So going after the wrong real estate agent will put you in a lot of pain. So being really, really intentional with the real estate agents that you're connecting with and saying, holy crap, this person sells like 60 houses a year. I would love to be connected to this person. Let me go offer them this irresistible offer. Hey, I will move one of your clients for free just to prove my worth to you. The reason I'm doing this, I see what you do as a real estate agent, and I want to be in your network.
Mhm.
That's
No,
it.
yeah, that
Like,
makes sense.
yeah, that's it.
No, that
And
definitely
so,
makes
and it,
sense.
yeah, and it's about being like, I would never tell a person, hey, just go work just to work. Like, hey, how about you train with this personal trainer? I used to be a personal trainer. And if I told people, yeah, you want to just work out and get no results at all, how's that sound? Like, no one wants I don't even want a piece of that. Like, and I like working out. Like, just wait, you want me to do what? For what? Ah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But if I can show that there's a result, like even that guy with the ice cream, he thought he was crazy, and I thought he was crazy too. I'm like, where is this going? He's about to go out of business. It's a wrap. No, because the marketer can see things other people can't see. That's the other thing that I noticed. They just see things other people just can't see. And the thing is, this is a psychological game. And it's easy for us all to say that. That's easy to say.
Mhm.
It's the same thing as Nike. Just do it. Yet there's some who are superstars and plenty who are not. Well, why is that? Because to do it, you have to actually do it to understand it. And when we're doing these things, it's frustrating because we're not seeing the results right away, just
Yeah.
like working out. You don't see the results the first day you work out. I was an overweight kid. I did my push ups, my squats, my whole nine. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm working my ass off. I've been working my ass off for a week and it's not working.
Hmm.
Well, I needed to do it for 3 months.
Yeah, no, and that's the same thing with marketing. Hey, a lot of people
Yep.
say, "Oh, I was with, you know, Home Bulletin or Quote Runner or one of these third-party lead providers, and they gave me 90 leads in the first month. Book a
Yeah.
goddamn lead. These leads are horrible."
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, they did give you a lot of leads in the first month.
Yeah.
You didn't book anything. Don't sound good. Understandable. What more could you do? Don't just get rid of them yet. What more, why did they give you so many leads? What is your filter looking like? Well, it
Hmm.
it says, well, we could service 3 counties over, and if we try to book those jobs, our estimates would be really high because of the travel time. Hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So could you get that closer? Could you kind of, tweak it a little bit? Could instead of getting so many one-bedroom leads, could we get two-bedroom leads? Like, what is the filter? Have you spoken to that company? Have you laid out the details of what type of filters you can do to maximize this lead source? So now, month two, oh, well, I didn't get 90. I got like 45.
Hmm.
And I booked two jobs out of 45. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Hey, you wanted at least 25 out of 45, but you got two. And
Yeah.
now two made you, let's say, $3,000. Well, technically you had 135 leads in total. You made $3,000. The lead cost probably about $8 a lead. So maybe you spent $400, and that's just rough math. You spent maybe $400 and you made $3,000. Hmm. Overall, you're doing pretty good. It's
Yeah.
not the result you want, but we know that it's a numbers game. And
Right.
even if you
Yep.
had even if you had 15 leads and you managed to book all 15, that's 100%. That's amazing. But are really all those customers you're going to be your customer? And what is your
Hmm.
customer? Because basically we can't take every customer. Every customer is just not our customer. Some customers have different
Yep.
perspectives. You get to a job and the customer's like, where's the packing supplies? Where's all of this stuff? And you're like, man, you ordered moving services. Well, the last guys I used,
I've
they
seen some
packing and moving. Well, why didn't you call the
I've
last?
seen some nightmare situations.
You know, so you need the numbers to filter through because again, every customer is not your customer, and you're going to get those customers that you just don't want, and you're going to have to turn away over the phone where you're like, yeah, we don't have no availability on the 15th, knowing damn well your schedule is open as hell. You're like, yeah, this customer's yelling at me already on the phone. How's she going to treat my
Yeah.
dog when they get there? You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
and I had a customer who called in and was like, I don't want to give you my name. Well, how the hell am I supposed to give you a quote? Like the hell? And I don't want to put down a deposit. Mm.
Yeah.
I know a company down the road, they don't accept deposits, and I think they'll have availability. Let me give you their phone number and you can call them.
No, there's some interesting people for sure. Like,
But if you have a very low lead count, like we had in the past, we had 30, maybe 37,000 leads over the year. And most people
mhm.
are like, God damn, that's a lot of leads. But is it really?
Mhm.
Again, there's a lot of filter in there. There's a lot of bad leads in there. There's, customers are saying, hey, shit, I was never looking to move. The hell you went to my
Yeah.
website though? How the hell you were never looking to move? You put in a quote request. You did the work. And then they're gonna talk about I was looking for a rental truck. The hell? You
Yeah.
all? They don't say you all on my website.
No, it's real stuff. And so one thing that I do too, because it's about communication. I go to the malls and I check out like the Louis Vuitton and the Chanel, and I just shop around. Don't buy anything because I would never buy something. Like they sell slippers for like $3,000. That is shocking to me. But anyway,
Maybe
so
they
I'll,
really
I'll go
comfortable.
around and yeah, I shop at those places. I shop because I'm not pulling my credit card out over there. And I see how the people respond and how the people act and what they do and what they're looking for. And I like because we want to be able to communicate that in our website, in our presence, in our communication, in our social media. We want to be able to have this cohesive communication so it's all around the same. And I don't know, Curtis might get mad. That's okay. Uh,
Oh,
we have we have Arizona Reliable and we have Phoenix Arizona Reliable. And just those two, like that miscommunicates because it's like, wait a minute, why do they say they're Arizona Reliable over here? And why are they saying they're Phoenix Arizona Reliable over here? Little things like that will make a difference to a customer. That's what they're
mhm.
looking for. That's what they're shopping around for. And so when we can really communicate cohesively in all areas and all aspects, easier said than done, but that's why you want to get a team behind you. If I can tell you anything, get a team. It's too hard to do it by yourself. And
Oh
I,
yeah.
and I think yeah, there's a lot of because I talk to moving company owners. A lot of them do a lot by themselves. It's an impossible game though to do it by yourself. And it sucks because it's like you're looking for the rubber to meet the road and it's like, yeah, but I have expenses and I got to do this and it's a tough game for sure. You know, I have a lot of respect for you moving company owners. This is not an easy game by any means.
Yeah.
But
And my,
Louis
I was gonna say one.
Massaro says it and I respect it. Oh,
I
real
was gonna
quick,
say.
Dwight.
I was gonna say.
If you can make it in this industry, you can make it in any industry.
Yeah, gotcha. No, I was gonna say my biggest belief is, and I was brought up to believe, look at the numbers. The numbers will tell a
Yeah.
story. But
Oh yeah.
I think that a lot of a lot where people fall short is, you know, and I don't want to talk bad about it, but a lot of softwares or CRMs or so like that
Mm,
aren't
mm,
they're there to help grow your business, but they're not painting the picture that a lot of businesses need to see.
yeah.
And and for the people that moving company owners that starting out that don't know what to look for, it's where is those are the owners that are probably struggling the most. But
Yeah.
those are the simpler days when you're first starting out, where you're like, oh yeah, I don't need to be so granular. I don't need to know the details that well. But for a company that's like, okay, well, hey, I've been around for 5 years, 6 years. I don't know where to go next. Well,
Yeah.
it's in the details. It's in the
Yeah.
numbers. Okay, what is your PPM? Oh, they say, oh,
Mm,
PPM. What the hell is PPM? Well, your price per move. Well,
mm,
uh, I don't know, And it's just
mm,
like, well, I just know I'm not making enough money. I need to raise my hourly rate. Well, why? Why do you need to
yeah.
raise your hourly rate? You feel like you're not making enough money, or are you profitable? Some guy saying, well, hey, I'm
Yeah.
charging $150 an hour, and yeah, I'm not profitable, or I'm not, making enough money. Well, what is your overhead? Well, I technically run my business out of my house. Don't sound like, if you run your business out of your house and I'm assuming you're paying yourself, that your overhead is going to be kind of, that high. It could be. Maybe your rent is
Yeah.
super expensive, but
Yeah.
if you do a deep analysis on really what your overhead is for the year and your fixed expenses, not your variable, because
Mm,
your variable is going to always
mm,
adjust, but your fixed expenses. Okay, well, my fixed expenses is only uh $30,000 for the year. Okay, well, 30,000 divided by however many jobs you're planning on having. Oh well,
mm,
if I do it that way, oh, I am making a lot more money than I thought. you know, but they don't have these numbers in
yeah.
front of them on paper to analyze every month to see what these little numbers are. And I think that's where the
Yeah.
disservice is being done, where people aren't allowed to see the numbers, even though they don't understand it right now. they're not
Mm.
able to see the correct numbers to make the right decisions.
Yep.
Because
No,
I
I mean,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm actually curious because we're you're still creating that software. I know you had something coming out.
So we put it on hold for right now, but
Okay.
one of the things that in my coaching program that we're working on is really focused on, for owners, is making sure that basically the owners can actually focus deep on their numbers, and every
Nice.
week we're having meetings and basically open Q&A sessions with the other owners, and we're like, well, hey, where are your numbers at? Where
Yeah.
are we on schedule to hitting your forecast goal for this month? And I think that's
Mm.
where, I can help other owners out a lot better. It's like, hey, let's be in an environment where we talk about these numbers. It's like when I went to
Yeah.
finance class in college, and the finance professor was
Mm.
talking about, hey, here's the numbers, here's what we're doing. And hey, we're all in the same
Mm.
environment. We all learning the same thing. So
Yeah.
it's not, well, hey, I don't understand this. This is over my head. No, you got into
Mm.
business to understand this,
Yep.
and grow your business. So why not be in a mastermind environment where the same people that's saying that, hey, you know what, I just want to get my business to the next level. Well, getting your business to the next level is knowing the details. And that's where we
Absolutely.
and that's what we do in the coaching program. Every week we'll have a coaching call where we'll actually have you pull up your spreadsheet. We'll go over your numbers, we'll go over everybody else's numbers to make sure that, hey, you know what? Are we in alignment with where we need to be?
Yeah. No, I love that. And I even think of because I go back to personal training and I say like if I were to give someone, okay, eat like this, they're not doing it. Like not even a little bit. They have to
Mhm.
know, well, why am I eating like this? So why am I doing these numbers? What are they doing for me? Well, you're here and you want to be here. Like, because you can create your own job. And that's terrifying. That sucks. When you basically like, I'm gonna own my own business. And then literally like, oh crap, I've created my own job. So now I'm getting less and doing more. That's awesome. But being in a program like that where you can see the numbers and, and if you can see them, you can adjust them. There's a
Mhm.
saying, if it's measured, it gets managed. And so, yeah, you got to measure and not only measure, but what am I measuring? Measuring the right things. Because you can measure, but if you're measuring the wrong things, that's disaster right there. But when you're measuring the right things, then you can make the adjustments and that goes back into marketing too. If you measure the right things, then you can articulate that to your customers, to the people that you support. If you're telling them this is how much it is to work with us, well, why is it so high? If you have something for that objection, you're in a good place. It's actually um, we want to give you the most value, and so in order to give you the most value, I pay my guys very very well to take care of your stuff because we've noticed in the moving industry a lot of stuff gets broken or stolen or or people put it in a warehouse and it never gets seen again. I didn't want that. And I wanted to be reputable. I want to take care of you. I want to take care of my customers. And I knew the best way to take care of them is by providing the very best value. And that's why we do it the way that we do it. I'm just making up a
Yeah, yeah,
facetious team, but yeah, but when you do it like that, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Instead of the prices are the prices. So are you gonna buy or not? Like it's be like click.
I ain't giving no damn discount. Uh, but it's one of those things where, hey, you also got to realize that a lot of people are like, yo, I'm paying my guys $20, $30 an hour to do this damn job, and these guys are still
Yeah.
messing it up, and it's just like, I don't know what to do, and it's one of those things where they guys getting paid $30, $25 become complacent. It levels off. It
Mm,
becomes a norm. Well, we're supposed to get paid $25. You see the hard work we do, or we're
yeah.
supposed to get paid $30. You see how little I do, you know, that's it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's just like they become complacent. And, for me, I much rather, I'm not going to say underpay them, but I'm going to pay them a reasonable wage, but then give them an opportunity to earn more. Some companies don't
Yeah.
offer raises. And when
Mm.
and if they do offer raises, are we still back in the Stone Ages where people are like, oh, I want to give my guys 15 cents or 30 cents for really busting their behind this year? Because it's like,
You just let them know, like, bro, you've done so good. 15 cents an hour extra.
like,
Merry Christmas, $25 gift card.
so it was like back when I worked for this bank or so like that, and they gave me a raise at the end of the year, and they were like, oh, so they told it from a salary standpoint. Oh, well, you're making 20 23,000 and $23,500, and by the end of this year you'll make $23,800. Isn't that good?
How's your behind feel after that?
And you just stare at them. You're not even gonna see that, right? Taxes. So, so it's one of those things where it's like, how are you treating your guys? How are you incentivizing them to work harder to get paid more to be that separator versus just saying, I'm going to give you $30 and I'm never ever going to increase your rate as the market goes up. Because what more motivation they have? Even your salespeople.
Yeah.
Let's say you paid them hourly. You say, you know what? I want to do right by you. I'm going to pay you 40 hours a week. Come get these sales. We need this $100,000. What motivation do they have? Granted, you got 40 hours. They're full time. Ooh, they'll get you the first 40.
Yeah.
And then it's just like 40,000. You hear 40 hours? That's $1,000 an hour. They're like,
Yeah.
That's all I can do. I tried. But you know what? What if I incentivize you by 2%? If you hit 100,000, I incentivize you by 2%. That's about $2,000, I think, or about 2,200, whatever. I think 2,000. I get an extra $2,000 on my 40-hour-a-week check, or at the end of the month.
Yeah.
We just need this $100,000. Got you. I'm gonna go and get it. Same thing for your moves.
No, that's the name of the game. Create those win-wins. You're 100% right on that.
Because the movers and drivers, they see that you're making money. The drivers definitely see that
you're Oh yeah. And sometimes, like, you're almost better off not giving some people those piddly things, because you're insulting their intelligence at that point where you're just like slide it over the desk like, how's that look? And they're like, well, it's like a revolving door. Why do my people keep quitting?
The crazy part is, what do they say? Oh, the ink is dry. And it's like, so there's no room for negotiation. You see what you was making last year? You was making 20, and you was making $22.70. You are now at $24. Oh, we making that money, aren't we? But
my dad went to work with a person who did that. Sorry.
So just know that, at the end of the day, you want to run your margins. You want to make sure that it's affordable. So if you do like $23 one year and then you do $24 the next year, $1 is okay. It's okay. But obviously you still want to have some incentives out there. Hey guys, we do safety bonuses. Hey, if you work safe, we'll reimburse you with a safety bonus, and that safety bonus will kind of, especially if you pay it out around Christmas, hey, I know you had crazy expenses, buying Christmas gifts for your family, here's a little incentive from us for all your hard work this year. Oh, wow. And I got a raise. It was a whole 50 cents. Oh shit, I love this company. But Obviously, you know, you want to make sure that they understand why their raise came from and not their raises based off the last 3 months of their whole performance. So, you know, have proof. But all right, guys. So we did have a lot of fun, I feel like, on this episode. You know, go out and crush it. You know, definitely focus on marketing, focus on networking. We talk heavily about buying marketing leads and stuff like that, but networking is the goal. It is the free stuff, essentially, where you could just go out and just talk to somebody that you never knew, and it can skyrocket your business. You would never ever know that it would have did that if you didn't go out there and network. But we are at the end of the hour. So if you have any questions for Cliff or myself, or again, you know, I'm posting blogs on the website, maxmovingtraining.com. If you're interested in joining the coaching program, again, we meet up once a week. You know, some people do once a month. We meet up once a week where we can actually go over where you are, create an action plan, make sure that you stay on track, have a what do you call it? An accountable group that can work in a community and say, oh, hey, I'm messing up. Where can I get help? Oh, shit. Your group responding, hey, have you tried this? Oh, snap. No, I haven't. Let me see if that works. And that's the environment we need to be around ongoingly, because we just need that additional support. So, absolutely. All right, everybody. Again, DwYght with Max Moving Training, Clifford Starks, Motivational Coach. We'll see y'all next week. All right, take care.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care.